Hello and welcome to Kelly's Soroka Life and the home of the Broom and Moon Coven. So today I'm doing another one of the readings that I crafted for myself over the past couple of years, and ones that I really wanted to share with you and let us do the readings together because we're all in different places in our lives, and the tarot is a great way to reach all of us, reach the people that reach everyone in their way. And the tarot really does meet you where you are, meet you where you want to be, and support you in your journey. And today we are doing a reading, How to Level Up. So this one came about at a time where, and we there's lots of times when we feel like we're stuck, like we're stuck in a rut, and it can be things that it can be overall your life in general. You just feel stuck, or you feel like that there's somewhere that you want to grow, there's somewhere you want to be, there's something more that you want, and it could be in something in your life, or it could be something very specific. There could be a specific area that you feel like that if that everything else is going pretty good, but this one area is just feels like that you're just spinning your wheels, you're just never getting anywhere. And looking at that, and when you look at it, if you feel like you're in a rut and you feel like something is not right, or you're not going in the right direction, or it's not getting you where you want to be, then sometimes you have to just kind of re just reassess and say, this is something I really tried to do this, and it's just something I need to let go of. And sometimes that is, just letting it go, and that is your choice. But sometimes it's something that you really want to work on, something that you really feel passionate about, that you really want to do, or something that you really need to do. Maybe you need to, take some classes to get better at your job, or maybe you want to rearrange the furniture in your house, and maybe you feel like that you've been wearing the same clothes over and over again, and you're just not finding joy. And there's lots of those things in our lives, and they're all important. They're all, because they all, if it's something that's important to you and you're feeling like you're stuck, then it's definitely something that you need to work on and work towards, and find that answer of how to get out of that rut. And sometimes it's just as easy as pulling some cards and getting a message, letting the message kind of sink in and figure out what it is that you want to do. And tarot is really good at that. Tarot is really good at reading the situation, reading where you are, what you're doing, what's happening, the energy that's there, the energy that you can sense, and the energy that is hidden from you. And so things that you really are not, that you're not really looking out for, but you should be, that energy, and you're like, oh, if I just look at it this way, it makes a lot more sense. So, like I said, it could be something specific. And this reading that we're going to do today, and I'll post everything afterwards, of course, the picture of the reading, the questions, and all that we've done today, and I'll put it in the usual places in YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, so you can see these questions. And if there's something specific that you want to work on, then you can use these questions for yourself. But for this specific reading, when I wrote it, I wanted it to focus on something. I wanted something to tell me, give me a message on that focus area, so that I could, if I felt like that there was something specific that I wanted to level up, then I could draw one card, because there's 5 cards in total. And that first card is the card about the situation, about the area where you want to level up. And so that focus card, it can be something that you want to that you know that you want to level up, and so you want to get a message on that. Or is something it's like, I just feel like I'm dragging down, like I'm just not getting where I want to go, and you're not quite sure what it is that's holding you back, or pushing you down. So then you can get a draw a card for this focus area, and you can kind of narrow it down and see where it is that we want that you need to focus to level up. So I used an oracle card for this focus area, and this is the dreaming way, no, the botanical dreams oracle. So this is the botanical dreams oracle, and the the card that I drew for the focus area is cycles of life. So here we need to focus on something that is cyclical in our life, something that is coming or going or changing, and it's just making us feel down. It's just making us feel like we're stuck in a rut, that we're stuck in somewhere in this cycle, and we just can't, make the wheel turn. Or maybe it feels like it's, just going backwards and just running over you. And so, look at your life right now and see, is there something in your life right now that you might feel like needs is a cycle that you're in, and you feel like that you're stuck in it. Again, it could be something with your career, that you feel like that you've gotten to a place where you just really need to level up, and what can you do about it? Or maybe you are getting ready for the spring and summer season. Maybe that brings lots of changes for you, or brings lots of different things for you. Maybe you're in experiencing a different cycle in your life. You're going through some kind of change. I just, my youngest son just moved out, and so I'm now an empty nester. And so it's definitely a phase in my life, and it can be very easy to get kind of stuck in it and think, how is this is definitely a change, but it's just making me just kind of feel like I'm just doing the same thing over again, and maybe I need to level up. Maybe I need to level up this time of change, and time of something being different. So that's our focus area, is the cycles of life. So look at your life. Where do you have a cycle that you feel like you're stuck in? And then we're going to have the next four cards are going to help us with that, with this leveling up in that area. So the first question asks us, where are we letting preconceived notions keep us down? And that is a very good one when we want to level up, because a lot of times we have notions, or we have ideas about certain things that keep us from breaking out of a cycle. We think things should be a certain way because we're at a certain age, or we live in a certain place, or we are in a certain job, or something is keeping us in this cycle, and something is keeping us from moving on. So what is it that's keeping us in this cycle of life, that's keeping us from moving on? And this I'm using the tarot is the Wizard's Tarot. So this is I know there's a glare, trying not to get the glare on it. But this is the Eight of Wands. So we have the Eight of Wands. We have this movement, these messages, all of this coming at us at one time. And this can be with this cycle of life that we're in. These preconceived notions could be all of these things that other people are telling us, all these things that we see in social media, all these things that we see, on Pinterest, all these things that the other people are telling us, especially society, and telling us that these things, we should be doing these things, or we should be happy where we are, or we should be happy doing the things that we're doing, and we might, you might not be, and that is great, and that is what this reading is all about, is to look at that and say, what is keeping me from leveling up in this area that is really not true. Are the stories true? Are the things that I'm seeing, are the things that I'm being told, is it really true? And is it true for me? And that's, the most important thing, is because this is your intention. This is your life. This is the place where you feel like that you're stuck, that you want to level up in. And so it's very important that you get to the truth. And so that, looking at those things and letting those go. So you might want to do, a little cord cutting ceremony. You might just want to, light a candle, or get a crystal, or get a something like not a sharp knife, but just something that represents a knife or a sword, and just cut those things away, and do that little cord cutting to just let those preconceived notions go. And especially if it's things that other people are telling you, or that you feel like that you're not measuring up to other people's expectations. And then, so the next question is, what unexpected treasure will you gain from leveling up? And so here we have the Nine of Swords. And so, and that's very interesting that we have the Nine of Swords, which is usually a card, a very tough card of anxiety and nightmares, and things that go bump in the night. And so, what treasure, when we level up, we're going to get rid of this. We're not going to feel this. We're going to get rid of all of those swords, all of those wands that are coming at us, all of the things that are kind of keeping us from those preconceived notions, and it's going to let go of that anxiety, and that's our treasure. We're going to be able to find the truth and find what works for us, and what makes our soul happy, and what makes us not feel that anxiety, and not have those nightmares. And so once in that cycle, you're going to be able to, you're letting go, and you're able to let the it's like this cycle. I can see just this circle going around, and we're in the cycle, and it's just, it's like stuck in the mud, or it's stuck on a rock. And by doing this cord cutting, by letting this go, it's going to let that wheel start going again, and that cycle start going again. And as we go up, we're going to get these treasures, and the nightmares and things are going to go away. And as we come back down, we have the support, and we have what we need to keep going and keep this cycle going, and be in the place where we want to be. Because as the cycles go around, it's not always, it might seem like the same cycle. I mean, we're in, right here where I am, we're in spring. And so it is definitely, the same kind of thing. If I look outside, I can see the trees have just, little bitty leaves on them. There are certain things, dandelions and violets, are blooming in the yard. And every year that's pretty much the same. It's pretty much in the same, but it's always different because I'm a different person coming into this cycle. And there were several cycles that I lived in a certain place in at this time of year. And now I'm living in a new place and or fairly new. And so it's always different. And so you want to think about that and think about when this cycle comes around, how are you a different person and how do you want to leverage that being that different person and leverage it to make the cycle and level up and make the cycle where you want it to be and get out of it what you want to get out of it. Okay, two more cards. So the next one is how will we recognize a success as we level up? And here we have, this is one of my favorite cards, the Two of Swords. And the Two of Swords, we're going to recognize the success as we level up because we'll be able, she has this blindfold on right now and she's trying to make a decision in with this blindfold on. And so we're either going to take this blindfold off and be able to see clearly what decisions that we need to make, or we're going to just sink even deeper into our intuition and really listen to our heart and know that what we're doing, what we're cycling to, what we are letting go is that it's going to feel right. We're going to know that we're making the right decisions. It's not going to be, oh, I don't know. And it might be that there's not a decision to be made, that the way things are needs to keep going, and you keep working on that cycle and keep going. But here, since we've got this Two of Swords, and there's the two, and that kind of that duality here, and the duality of the swords being thoughts and ideas, and then having our heart in between that, and what path, what sword do we want to choose, what idea do we want to choose that's going to make us happy, that's going to level us up. And so we'll know that and it will feel good. And we've all had those decisions where we've said, I know that practically I should do this, or I know that this is, what somebody else is advising me to do. But, deep down inside, I just know that it's not the right thing to do. And we've all had those times when we've had those choices and we've just made the choice that we think is expected of us, or that, someone else has talked us into. And later on, we think, oh, I knew that this wasn't the right choice to make. I knew this wasn't the right path to take. And we had to deal with it. And so right now we'll know that we're leveling up when we're making that decision, when we're making that choice that's going to make us feel good as well. And so lastly, what will we be able to achieve once we level up? So in this one, we have the Five of Pentacles. And here, again, the Five of Pentacles is usually, very, kind of a tough card. And you think, well, gosh, an achievement as the Five of Pentacles. But here will it be achieving something in our lives. We'll be moving that wheel again. We'll be unsticking whatever it is that needs to be unstuck. And we will have achieved this feeling that we're out in the cold, this feeling that we've lost something, this feeling that fives are about conflict. So this feeling we have about feeling conflicted, and going back to the Nine of Swords, feeling anxiety and feeling conflict. Once we start to listen to our heart and listen to our intuition, then we're going to overcome that. We're going to be able to overcome that feeling that we're out in the cold, or that we don't have the resources that we need, or we don't have the support that we need, because it'll come from inside first, and then it will filter outward, instead of us trying to bring it from outward and bring it in, because so many times that just really doesn't work. It just doesn't work, trying to bring in something from an outside source, especially if it doesn't align with our own values, especially when it doesn't align with what we're doing in our own life. So that is our reading for today. And again, this is how to level up. So if you're stuck in a rut, if you feel like that you're in a cycle of some kind and it's not turning out the way that you want it to turn out, then you go to these questions, look at these and pull some cards, do some journaling, do some meditation on these questions, and get to that place where you can lead from your intuition and lead from your heart and lead from your soul in a place that makes your soul happy. All right, so that is our reading for today. And remember, the Coven is open for memberships. The Coven curriculum with all the lessons and the circles and the moon circles and the crafting sessions and the reading sessions. It's all open, and all the lessons are coming in, and you'll be able to. The first, full lesson for the Coven, all about dandelion and how to use dandelion both magically and herbally. And so that is our first lesson that will come out on Monday. So all the information, you can find it below, and you can join, and we have lots of things you can see. Most of the things that are on the calendar already or are coming very shortly to the April calendar, so you'll be able to see what's coming up very soon. So come join in, come and join the free community and chat with us there. And we'll have a Sunday planning session on Sunday that you can come in and and plan your week and be ready for the week and level up your week. So it'll be great. It'll be a cycle. We'll bring a cycle to the end of the week, and we'll start our new cycle in a very intentional and magical way. So again, all the information, there'll be a link that you can go to and find out all the information there. And I will hope that you have a great rest of your Friday, and I will see you again soon. Bye.